Here we go, folks, with another episode of Sports Talk with Attitude. We got special announcements today. We got some big stuff coming. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to Sports Talk with Attitude with Kurt Ralph and Straight Out of DC. And Ralph is
and malicious.
Yes, in the house.
There we go. So here we are with Sports Talk. We're going to go over a few things today. We're looking at the playoffs and how's everybody's doing in that. And this episode is brought to you by CurTech Inc., a technology company specializing in computer service repair, cell phone repair, and network support for small to medium-sized businesses. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Outstanding. How you doing?
Good. We're doing great. So we're into what game was that? Game 2, game 3?
Game two,
the playoffs, and also we have a little information on Tour de France. We want to talk a little bit about that today. I know Straight Out, the book is open.
Yes, it is.
I watched a little bit last night, and Straight Out of DC, he's very familiar and wants to bring that into conversation about Tour de France. And I think it's kind of interesting. We can start off with that. I think it's kind of interesting, that during the Tour de France, how many bikers are out there? Somebody said they're just riding up the side of a mountain. They're just riding up the side of the mountain, joyriding, but
riding up the mountain. Now, should we wait for Lonnie because he's our aficionado.
Straight Out of DC.
Straight Out of DC. He's the aficionado at the Tour de France. So
we'll bring it. So
right, he's our local expert.
So our local expert, Straight Out of DC, Tour de France, man. We did something for you last night, DC. We actually watched some Tour de France. I watched about 90 minutes of it, and the book is open. He said he watched a little bit of it.
I watched some too.
We got some numbers.
Just out of respect for you, Straight Out of DC, I looked at some Tour de France, and it looked like it did 20 years ago when I saw it. A bunch of guys on a bike riding up the side of a mountain.
What do you think of that?
I first want to recognize that. Thank you. And I checked the numbers just because I have to pay homage to Ralph, and there are only 7 million people looking at the Tour de France. And for soccer, there are over 100 million people watching. Yeah, thank you. You're right. You often are. And a bunch of people riding up the side of a mountain. So yeah, maybe about 150 to 200 people. And that's a lot of folks going, up the side of the mountain. It did look like it did, 10 years ago. It's the Tour de France. I mean, it ain't like they took it to Tour de Spain.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's not Tour de it's Tour de France.
Right.
I have some numbers. Okay. After its first year of being broadcast in full, the Tour de France has seen audience figures jump, with a record peak audience of 7.3 million television viewers, right?
Around the world.
Around the world. And you can count me into one of those last night. You can count me, and the book is open, as two more to add on to that number. And then in soccer or football, the League of Legends World Championship in 2019 has a record-breaking exports event broadcast over 100 million viewers. Most of the fans turned into watching the soccer football via streaming services like Twitch and YouTube. And I really didn't hear much about Twitch until last night. I was doing some research on OBS and doing multiple broadcasts at the same time. And I come across this software called Restream, where we could do a broadcast across multiple platforms at the same time. And Restream, what the first thing the guy said? He talked about Twitch. Never heard of Twitch. Now I heard of Twitch twice. When I got this text message from Straight Out of DC, and when I did some research last night on OBS and Restreaming. Twitch.
Wow. That's huge.
Those are some big numbers when it comes to watching football, and 7.3 million television views on Tour de France.
Now, keep in mind, the 100 million that we're talking about, that's around the world. We got more than 7 million in the US that watch soccer. just the U.S. alone.
Wait, when I say soccer, when I say football, I'm referring to soccer.
Right. Yeah.
I lived in Spain and Italy for a little while, so it's soccer to me. I mean, it's football to me.
It's soccer to me.
I know. Hey, look, you look like a Lucius Lyons over there with your streaming going on. Go ahead, Empire.
I'm just saying, man. I'm sure QB. Somebody got a QB this thing.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think that, more and more, a bunch of guys riding the bike, but they've been riding for days, and I think it's a fun sport.
How many miles is the Tour de France?
I think it's 1,200.
Right. So it
Really?
goes.
I thought it was longer than that. I thought it was like 2,100 miles.
Yeah.
It took them about an hour and a half last night. It took them. How many hours did it take them to ride that? I know they said going 16 miles was like 30 minutes of riding. These guys were going at speeds of 42 to 44 miles per hour, pedaling. After pedaling for hours, they're still going that fast.
Now remember, a lot of that is going downhill though too, so they're not pedaling straight up at that speed.
Hey,
they had the peaks and the chateaus and the chateaus. Some of that's uphill.
A lot of that's uphill now.
Yes, it is.
For that.
Nobody
what I'm saying is that
I know that.
I don't think they're going 45 miles an hour uphill though.
No, ain't nobody that fast.
Well, I don't know, because they were showing towards the end of the race. I know they were going like on level part. At one point, they were going. The guy was going downhill.
Yeah.
I took a couple pictures, and it was showing 42. The last climb at the end of the race, they had to go up this hill, right? And they were talking about there's points levels as you're going through that you're scoring, and this hill should be rated for points of some sort. They were going 25, 28 miles per hour up that hill.
Yeah.
After pedaling all that time, they're doing 28 miles per hour up a hill.
Oh, you got to be in great shape. And I'm just tell you, riding a bicycle is no joke. You got to be, you got to be in good shape. Your legs got to be in good shape, And so I recognize the Tour de France as a sport, first of all, and as a tough sport, because not just anybody can get on the bike and ride like that. I think I may be wrong in terms of the number of miles, but I know it's like 21 stages or something like that. So it's a grueling test of endurance is what it is.
Right. And I saw last night, so they're on stage 12.
2,121.6 miles.
How many?
2,121.6 miles.
I said 2,100 miles.
That's
I know a little bit of, the book is always open, baby.
The book is,
hey, well, just to make sure, I did my research too, and I went back and I did look at Reggie Miller. I know we're going to do a crossover in a moment.
Oh my!
Reggie Miller is fully engaged in cycling, but he is a trail rider, and I thought he was a street rider, but he's really engaged. You looked it up, Armchair?
I heard you say that, and I didn't do too much research on it, but yes, I do understand he is deep into the bike riding, it's bicycling.
Because you stay in shape. If you ride a bike, you can't be out of shape and ride a bike. Not for that long.
You hear that, Mo? You could bike back to the Ville.
All the way back. All the way across country. So there's 12
of the bike on the back of a trailer and pull it across the Ville.
I know.
I'm not pedaling that far.
There's 21 stages in the Tour de France.
Yeah.
Stage 12.
Yes. So they still got 9 stages to go. And that yellow jersey determines who's in first place at the end of each stage. That they give it to the new guy.
Peloton. Peloton had the yellow jersey last night, but he was thick in the crowd.
Was he?
Peloton got busted when they first started off. That dude stepped out that banner.
With the sign.
They hit that, so roll them all up.
That's dangerous. People getting in the way. And like towards the end of the race last night, when he was out in front, the guy from Germany who won last night, he was coming down to the last, about a mile.
Kilometer.
He was on his curves by himself. He was getting so close to the people. I was afraid because they talked about him blowing the tire and that something like that happening. I was more concerned about how close he was getting to the people unnecessarily. and he was like riding right by him to where they could stuck an arm out. And
Yeah.
really messed him up.
Oh, you'll go to jail for that.
Yeah,
You'll go to jail for that.
Yeah. He may go to jail, but you're one of your guys may would have been those guys in second, third, fourth place.
So I asked myself a question, like you when you watch the Tour de France, you see people standing outside and then you see these guys zip by you at 40, 50 miles an hour. You might get 12 minutes of cyclists coming by you. And so part of what I understand about the Tour de France is they are going from town to town to town to town to town. And so
Right.
people just generally walk out their front door for 15 or 20 minutes,
Yeah.
watch them flow through, offer some water, and they just keep rolling. So that's the excitement. And that's why, you're wondering why people are out there. Have they been out there all day? But
No.
no.
Yeah, and they basically start at the lower end of France, and I think they go all the way up through the mountain, through the Alps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a grueling race. It's tough, no question about it. It's like a marathon, 26 miles, but you're running. This is over a couple of weeks. I think it takes several weeks to get through the start, and just to finish the race is big.
Yes. Great. Well, thank you for that. I do want to, thank you guys. I know you wanted to, pick up on something else, and now I'll shift gears, and we're going to get to that game, those two games that we haven't talked about yet. But anyone ready for Major League Baseball home run derby? I'm not ready. I didn't watch any of it yet.
It's gonna come on the next week. The home run derby is next Tuesday.
I love that.
Oh,
It looked like Ralph was ready for it. Ralph was dressed up and ready for it, pinstripes and all.
is that the Dodgers? He got the Dodgers
Is that
uniform
Dodgers
on?
or Yankees? Who's that?
But they look like the old Yankees.
That's
No,
that's
no.
Cubes. That's some Cubes, baby.
Yeah,
That's
that's what that is.
That's some cute. I'm not part of it, but that looks like something like that. I'm not there.
That's exactly what it is. That's the Omega stuff.
That's the bras. Them bras.
You a gangbanger
That's
now.
the bros. But it's all good. But yeah, baseball is hot and heavy. This is the middle of the summer, midsummer classic is about to take place next week. And Shohei Ohtani is the man.
I do want to say something. I want to apologize to the book is open because I'm not part of that organization and I didn't mean to throw the sign up. And I think that's disrespectful because I'm not part of it. So,
You're good. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir. No. I need to apologize because I'm not.
Yeah, because Mo, you just don't know how serious some of these guys are.
I just don't know.
I ain't worried about none of them guys.
All right. So
It's not about being Mo.
next time you're here on a Saturday, I'm gonna take you someplace. We'll see how worried you may not.
Mo, it ain't about you. Mo, you're missing the point. Mo, you're missing the point, Mo. It's not about you being worried. Nobody's gonna attack you. It's not about you being worried about nobody. Just because we make a comment, nobody is telling you to get worried or get up. It ain't about that at all.
No.
So don't.
Yeah, I see
Nobody is-
fellas,
yeah.
I respect them. They let me come into some of the meetings where they hang out, and I definitely have a whole lot of respect for the bros.
This is good, bros. That's all. And and if you were around, you'd understand more what Curtis is saying. But Curtis, we appreciate it. But back to baseball. I want to see this kid from Japan do what he's doing.
The one for the Angels?
Yeah.
He's a pitcher too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's cracking that ball.
He got the most home runs in the big leagues right now.
That's
Really?
crazy. A pitcher.
So he gonna be pitching in the All-Star game, and he's gonna be batting in the All-Star game, and he's gonna be in the home run derby.
Who's this?
Shohei Ohtani.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a great pitcher and a great hitter.
And you know what's funny? You would think that pitchers would be better hitters because they know when the pitch is coming. They can see the pitch.
Well, no, it don't work. It don't work like that. When
Well,
you play.
if you're here in Washington, D.C., you would have seen the pitcher smack the seventh inning, and the pitcher was up, and he smacked bases loaded.
Grand slam.
Grand slam.
Yeah, he smacked him. I forget who they was playing, but we here in DC just deflated. It's like, oh.
Wait a minute, straight out DC, didn't you play baseball when you were younger?
Oh yeah. I
How can
mean,
you not remember Grand Slam?
Oh yeah, I think it's Denny's.
I know you had a couple of them. I know you had some when you played.
yeah, but I had played it so long, I don't even know if I can swing a bat.
You can swing
Oh.
a bat. You can swing a
But
bat.
I
You
actually
can
can.
swing
I
it, you
can
may not
still
hit
hit.
the ball.
Yeah, you can swing the
No,
bat.
no, what you talking about? I
Straight
helped
out
my,
DC was an athlete, baby. He was left-handed, but he was an athlete.
I got my nephews and everything. I'm still pitching. I don't know what you talking about. I'm 60
yeah.
miles, 70
That's
miles.
straight out DC, baby.
You can swing a bat. You can pitch. You can swing.
Oh yeah.
But you might not hit, but you can swing.
No, we go to the batting cage, Mo. I'm sharp. I should be coaching right now. Little league.
Yes, sir,
T-ball.
you should be.
But down here, they're all crazy about basketball and I mean, that's the sport here, you know.
It's America's sport, baby.
We
Come
just
on.
got a baseball team here in the city, the Nationals. We got a couple people in the All-Star game.
You won the World Series 2 years ago. What are you talking about?
We paid for that. We paid
Everybody
money.
everybody pays for their World Series. All those players are getting paid on both teams.
Yeah.
So everybody, every series, every champion is paid for. Every one of them.
Yep. And then
So-
Bryce Harper went and left us, but I digress because I see,
No. He left, but you won without him.
yeah.
Yeah, he went to Philly and you won the championship without him. So it ain't like you lost anything when he left, right?
That's true. So Mo, what else have you been following? We got to get into
We
now.
got to get to the playoffs.
I am warmed up now.
You gotta get golf. I watched that little match thing they had going on.
Yeah, with Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, I watched that.
Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
Yeah, I
So
watched.
what happened with that, Mo? Lead the charge on that. What'd you see?
I kept watching. I was switching back between that and the game, but who won it was Green Bay quarterback. He won it, and how you pronounce his name? Uche Compose.
Oh, DeChambeau?
Yeah, he won it. Him and a boy from Green Bay won it.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Brady and Phil.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers and boy won it. And
DeChambeau.
yeah, DeChambeau.
Right, DeChambeau.
And
So
Brady-
I'm definitely the golf aficionado. I keep up with it.
Hey, they was hitting that ball, but man, they had wildlife all over the field out there. I mean, there was bears, foxes running right out there. I'm like,
Beautiful
man,
course.
that.
Beautiful course.
Yeah, but they was up there with them animals like, nah, dinner is served, you know.
No, those animals, they in their place, bro. Don't worry about that.
Bruh, nature is, you can't trust
Have
nature.
I played golf a few years ago. I was living in South Carolina. We went and played this beautiful course. And as we were coming up, man, there were gators laying around in the water and all kinds of stuff. My ball go over there. I said, he could have that ball. I'm gonna stop back here and try. If he want that one, he could keep it. I ain't going over there. But to see gators out on the golf course is no big deal down here in the South.
So, Book, I'm gonna throw my clubs in the truck. Okay, I'm gonna keep them in there from now on, I think, and we need to.
Okay. Say the word. I played 18 Sunday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've never
18.
played golf. I've never played golf.
They had their tournament.
Except for PlayStation.
No, that wasn't our tournament. It was just me and a couple of fellas. We went out and played 18 holes on Sunday.
Hey Mo,
Oh,
Mo,
I'm
let me
sorry.
tell you the secret behind this golf thing in my world. First of
boy.
all, you should go out there because what you don't know is the beer truck rides by and you get you some beer and cigars. You be sitting out in the woods, sleep in your cart.
Get your cart.
Get your car, and the beer truck keeps riding by. It's just like, you want some beer? They be serving beer out there. That's why they be out there playing back in the grease.
Don't forget that every time it drive by you, they don't give you beer. You pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh well,
So-
if you're in the tournament, it's supposed to be free. The
Well, no,
tournament-
it depends. It depends on the tournament.
Yeah, the tournaments
All tournaments are not the same.
are free. Oh,
There was a truck that comes out there by you all the time. And you just,
Yeah, like the
beer,
goodie
get
man.
drinks. Yeah, depends on which one you
Stop it! Stop it!
It's the goodie man, Mo.
Goodie man.
He comes right out the trees like a leprechaun with all the goodies. He be like,
Stop
"This
it.
cigar and a shot of gin."
There was speakeasy.
Stop
riding
it.
around, man.
Don't tell no
believe that.
females about it though.
Mo, don't believe that, Mo.
I don't know. I can't talk to something I don't know. I don't know.
I've been in a
Well,
couple.
Like earlier today, I was just
That's how it
messing with y'all, bro. With that Q thing, I was just messing with y'all.
I'm just telling you, I'm the golf guy, and
Hey,
the truck, the little golf lady comes by, but every one of them beers you have to buy and pay for out of your pocket.
you're on the wrong side of town.
About
You
18
got,
beers.
you got to go to the
Every time I
golf
come out
tournaments.
there, we'll go golfing.
Hey, you got to go to the golf tournaments on the other side of town.
We're going down to Athens,
You're on the
man.
wrong side of town.
You hear me, Kurt? Next
Oh,
time I
yeah.
come out there, we'll go golfing.
Well, there you go.
Oh boy,
I can't say I'm gonna hit the ball.
that's
Anything.
gonna,
Hit
that's
more
gonna
than-
be that's gonna be interesting.
I'll
You
hit
may
more-
want to go to the driving range first and just hit a few, see if you can hit them.
Oh yeah, we'll stop at the driving range.
I've been to that place called what's it golf?
Top
Man,
Top golf.
Top Golf. I've been there. I went there last year. It was fun. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I know what club I do like to swing with. I like that wood club, that 5 wood. Well, I like that, man, boy.
yeah.
I like that. But that driver, I hit the ball. I thought I was gonna go straight ahead. That ball shot right off to the side. Right? Like, what was that?
Let me just tell
Aren't
you.
left-handed?
Yeah,
Let me just tell you one
The
thing.
right-handed clubs, Ralph.
I swing right-handed though. I swing right-handed.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now, so just so you know,
Exactly.
think about this though. Phil Mickelson, who is a great golfer, Hall of Fame golfer, just won a major this year. He's right-handed. He plays golf left-handed.
Yeah, I'm left-handed. I swing everything right.
Hmm.
Like I bat
Yeah.
right.
And the reason that Phil Mickelson plays that way is because when his dad taught him how to play, his dad was a right-handed golfer, but he told Phil to stand right straight across from him. So in order for him to hit it in the same direction, he had to hit with his left hand. So he learned how to play with his left hand, even though he's a right-handed person.
That's interesting.
You know what? The book. I know today's Friday, and the left hand and the right hand thing just got me going just now. And so I'm gonna go ahead and ask the armchair to tee up this NBA playoff thing that we got going, because I've been thinking about it a little bit. I made a call last week, and every time I see him go sit on the bench. Hold on, Kurt, don't fall out the chair. I'm gonna say Lopez. You almost fell out when I said it. Go ahead, tee him up.
So the deal is since you said that, the book was open and did a little research.
Well,
Did a little research on Brook Lopez.
yes, sir.
Do you know that over his career, Brook Lopez has scored over 15,000 points and grabbed over 8,000 rebounds? Did
Wasn't
you know
last
that?
week.
They was talking about that at the game yesterday, I think.
No, what I'm saying is that he said that Brook Lopez was a liability. So you weren't on last time, Mo, when we was talking about
Oh,
this.
no, I wasn't. No.
Right. So I'm just going back, and as he talked about Brook Lopez, I did a little research just so we could be on the same page. So when you say to me that a guy that's scored 15,000 points and grabbed over 7,000 or 8,000 rebounds in the NBA is a liability, I'd like to have you tell me who's not a liability if they scored less than that.
Who said he's a
See, 'cause-
liability?
What?
Who said he was a liability?
That's
Hold on
what
now.
straight out of DC said. That's what I'm saying. You weren't on last week, Kirk, when we talked about this, Mo. And
Yeah.
so I was just trying to give him some update on Brook Lopez.
I'm listening.
All right. So, Mo, come on now. Come over, Mo.
I'm listening.
He wants you to come to the dark side, Mo.
No, bro, I don't go. I'll stay out the light.
I told them last week that if they don't bench Lopez, then Milwaukee is not going to have a chance, because Lopez is a liability. And now they pulled out all the statistics, but you know what don't lie? Your eyes don't lie sometimes, right? And I think first of all, every time CP3 saw him come out, he was waving people like, oh, go sit on, he was doing this, move.
He's a mismatch, but the point is, you have to have that big man in, because you got Giannis out there. You got two big men. Atlanta only has one really big man to stand up with Giannis. But you put Brook in there, you got the offsets the balance right there. Giannis is going to do what he got to do, and you got Brook right there to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Speaking of offset the balance, and then the other guy, the other shooter, whatever his name is, Lopez came out. He's like, "Oh, everybody move again." Lopez is messing the game up, man. Lopez, they put him on the bench first game for almost, 46-minute game. Lopez only played 10 minutes. They heard me.
Are you sure? Are you sure that he only played 10 minutes, Lonnie? Or are you just speculating? That's what your perception was.
Lonnie,
Are you giving me facts? Are you telling facts, or this is speculation?
Speculation, because when I kept looking, they were shooting his lights out and they put him on the bench.
So,
he played the third or fourth quarter.
So it's hard for me to deal with speculation. I'm a facts type guy.
So what
if you want to give me facts, I can deal with that. But if you want to just give me your speculation of your perception of how you saw it, that's different than facts.
Well, facts of the matter is, it looks like they had Brook Lopez trying to guard Devin Booker and Chris Paul. And
he got switched there. He got switched to that.
Thank you.
Yeah, he got switched. Yeah. He's not guarding him.
But the issue is, if you listen to the talking heads on television, they'll tell you Milwaukee has had a problem from day one in these playoffs. Their coach don't know how to make good adjustments. The fact that they do a switch like that and the coach hadn't made any adjustment, that's not on the player, that's on the coaching staff.
Right.
If the coaching staff is leaving them out there in those situations, well, we expect CP3 to take a big man like that out there one-on-one.
Oh, yeah.
But why don't you judge him about what he do against other big men in the paint? Not about what he does against CP3, because that ain't the man that he's guarding when they switch off. But the coaching staff hasn't made it clear. We don't want that switch. We want you to get over that screen and keep guarding that man, because our big man ain't supposed to switch over and guard him. That ain't his job.
Nope.
So it's much more to it when we sit and think about the periphery of the game as opposed to looking at the details of the game. That's when the game gets different. So I'm just trying to share with you.
Sound like the
knowledge.
Perfect definition of a liability.
No, it's not.
Hey,
a liability means that he can't help your team. And you're telling me that Brook Lopez is making the money he's making has not helped Milwaukee to get to this point. If that's what you're telling me, then I can't accept that.
He killed Atlanta. He killed Atlanta. He killed Atlanta.
We're talking about the Phoenix team, and they're coming back, and they've
only played 2 games in Phoenix. Let's talk about it after they played 2 games in Milwaukee and see what it looks like then. Because of course, when you play at home, the role players on the team at home always plays better than they do on the road. The home team always at generally, that's why they always have more points, in terms of the point spread, because they're playing at home. Let's give Milwaukee the same opportunity to play 2 games at home and see what those games look like. If Phoenix go in there and do the same thing to them and beat them 2 in a row, fine. But if they go in there and they lose 2 and it's tied 2-2, then we're right back where we started from. At least give Milwaukee the opportunity that Phoenix has had to play home games. We haven't even done that.
Phoenix and 5.
Oh, we got a number up there. Wait, hold that hand up, because I understood. Because hold that hand up. You wasn't on last week. I understood that CP3 was going to be D'd up by a bigger athlete.
Holiday is D'ing him up.
Holiday. And CP3 shot his lights out in game 1.
He didn't do it yesterday. Holiday's too big because he just backs CP3 underneath the rim and takes it to the hole all the time.
All I'm saying is give Milwaukee the same opportunity that we've given Phoenix. They played 2 home games after being rested for a week in between their series. Give Milwaukee a chance to go back home, sleep in their own bed, practice in their own facility, and play at home. That's all I'm saying. Just give them the same opportunity and then talk about all those details, because things change. Those players, those Phoenix players that play great off the bench, they haven't played like that all season long on the road. So let's give them a chance to play on the road and see if they do the same thing.
But
isn't that only fair?
But the book, here's what's fair. Let's just do what's fair. And the armchair guy can jump in. Book, we talking about 2 games that I watched the other day. That's fresh in my mind. I can't go next door next week and go to the poker tournament talking about I'm gonna have a better hand or a better chance this time. I need to understand the cards I've been dealt.
Bruh,
In
but
no
it's
way
not even,
Milwaukee will climb back up out the armchair and run 4 in a row.
You can't compare basketball to poker in a hand you might get with the cards. The cards come how the cards come, no matter where you at. But when I just said is you take the same team, put them at home, let them sleep in their own bed, get in their own routine. You can't tell me that don't make a difference. If you do, then I understand you have a different thought process than I have. So you think it's the same playing on the road versus playing at home?
Let me put it to you this way.
No, that's a question. Answer the question first.
No, I think playing at home is much better, just as much as I'd like to play poker with your money. that way I feel a little different about losing it. So you cannot say that Milwaukee's going to automatically go home, turn the corner, and run it out. Because
I didn't say that. I did not say that. I said that they will. I said that the home team will play better at home when they sleep in their own bed, get in their own routine, go to the same places they do, see their families, all those things that they've been doing. They do it better at home. And the road team, the subs, the ones off the bench, they never play as good on the road as they do at home. Now, if you got some facts that can dispute that, I'm willing to listen to them.
No, I mean, certainly Milwaukee's been a good road team throughout the year as well. And Phoenix is—
But it's the playoffs. It's the playoffs.
Right. Phoenix is an even better road team. I don't have the statistics, but I heard the people talk about it. Now, here's what I would add. Let's talk about the pace of the game that Phoenix is running. They're not just going to change overnight and slow the game down when they get to Milwaukee.
Sure they will, because the other team will be playing different. What I'm saying is that Phoenix is not going to slow the game down necessarily, but the team that they're playing against is now playing at home. They play differently. They hit shots that they may not make on the road. It's a whole different animal. I'm just telling you, bro, you can't, if you're trying to tell me that it's going to be exactly the same on the road for Phoenix as it is at home, okay, I'll listen to you say that, but I ain't going to buy it.
Mo, 2 things, or the book, 2 things. One, yes, the game is going to slow down a little bit. Probably because the fans aren't going to be counting Giannis's seconds at the free throw line, and he's going to get—
That's only a few times. He only go to the line a few times, so that's insignificant.
Well, insignificant. I mean, game 1 they had 22 fouls. Milwaukee can't figure out if they should be pushing people on the ground like they did in game 1. But last night they felt like, yes, they're going to play different because you're going to pay your referees not to call nothing.
Oh, brother. When we start, okay, I know to tune this whole conversation out. If we're going to start talking about conspiracy and paying the referee, the teams don't pay the referee, the league pay the referee. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing, bro. Come on. Now, do the referees call games differently for the home team versus road team? Everybody does, and everywhere. That's not unique to Phoenix and Milwaukee. When they get to Milwaukee, there will be calls that Milwaukee will get in Milwaukee that they probably didn't get in Phoenix. That happens in every game all over the league. That ain't new.
All right.
What's new about that?
I'm going to fast forward you to, what's his name? Middleton. I think Middleton is playing a great game. I think Giannis is doing something super. But then what's going on with Hunter? I thought he was, isn't his name Hunter? I thought he would be able to contribute defensively to some of these stops.
Who is Hunter?
I think it's number 13 or
Portis.
Is that his last name?
Brother. Nothing. All that you're saying is true, but none of that is the same as. All I'm saying is that let's give Milwaukee an opportunity to play 2 home games, staying in their own city, not having to fly, not living in a hotel. Why don't we do that? Why don't we wait until we see what that looks like? You can always say, well, this got to be doing better. But I just told you, the road team, their players, the bench players don't play nearly as well on the road as they do at home. And the home team, their bench players play much better at home. So let's just give it a chance to see Now, if Phoenix goes into Milwaukee and do the same thing to them, I raise my hand and tell you, brother, you're on target. But if we at least got to give them a chance to play some home games, you telling me that the home games don't mean nothing?
No, I 100% agree with you. I just want to walk through the lineup just a little bit more to see where the
What's going to
mismatches
change,
are.
though? What's going to change about the lineup if you walk through the lineup when they're not playing at home? I keep telling you, home team makes a difference to the players that's playing in the game.
So you just want to see what as far as stats goes for the players and how they're playing.
You can look at the NBA stats and see that the guys, when they play on the road, they play a lot differently than they play at home. It's just the reality of it. It always has been that way. It will continue to be that way because the bench players are much more comfortable at home, and they know, even if I miss a shot, my home team, they still gonna cheer for me. Even if I don't do something, they still got my back. When we on the road and you start getting those boos because you did something wrong, and then that gets into your head. There's so many different elements that go into playing at home versus playing on the road. And all I'm saying is, give Milwaukee a chance to play some home games, and then let's see if they're doing the same thing.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not making an argument that Phoenix is not good or that Phoenix is not going to win the series, because I picked them to win the series. But at the same time, we can't get in and nitpick everything that happened with Milwaukee, and they haven't even had a chance to play any home games. Let's see them play at home.
I 100% agree with you, but can't you see?
But when you say "but," that negates everything you said before that. Soon as you say yeah, but means what you just said, book don't mean nothing. Because I got another point that's gonna negate all of that stuff, that home team stuff.
I rest my case then. I rest my case.
Because you heard that before. As soon as you
like,
say the word "but," that negates all that other stuff that the other guy just said. You know what?
Right. That's
with all
like,
due respect, that's the same thing. With all due respect, and
there
then
you go. That's like saying when you're having a conversation for 30 minutes and you say, "Well, let me tell you the truth."
So what you been telling me before now?
Right.
Hey, what's the weather like out there? You guys right?
So
Well, the rain this afternoon.
Booker did.
It's raining?
No, it's supposed to rain this afternoon, though.
All right.
What about you, Lonnie?
Elsa blew through here last night, so we low humidity.
Oh, you say y'all good?
Sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It comes up that
Hey, guys.
off of that Florida handle.
Okay, yeah, it's just hot here. 100, it's gonna be 108 again today.
Wow, man, I can't imagine. You guys got wildfires going on right now, Mo?
Hey, let's stick to the sports talk.
My bad.
I don't lose anybody. Let's start talking about other stuff.
You got any chats coming in about what Ralph's talking about with this? He didn't found an ace of clubs, or a king of clubs. Don't be the ace of spades. He done found a king of clubs in this deck with this home court advantage. I can't get past bench players.
It's the truth. Everybody plays different at home.
Yeah, even the bench players.
Yeah, particularly the bench players.
That's their crowd. Their crowd is there. They're not getting booed when they come in on a game. They're getting a little cheer, getting pepped up. It's that feeling, that fire you feeling.
But just the fact that you didn't have to travel, you sleep in your own bed, you stay in your own routine that you normally would have when you're at home versus being on the road. You're not in the same regular routine. Things are just different. And that means that when you show up to the facility, you don't recognize the same people that you walk down. That security guard that's there at every home game is a different guy. You don't give him dap. You all the things that you would normally do when you're playing at home, you don't get to do those on the road. So that makes you feel a little bit.
Armchair. I need to even the score here.
So the first two games for Phoenix and Milwaukee, they were in Phoenix, right?
Yes, yeah. Phoenix won them both.
So I need to pull up stats on championships for all athletics, baseball, basketball, football, to see when championships are won if they're home and away.
Yeah, pull that one up.
Well, let me mention one other thing to you guys that I think you may remember this. When Milwaukee played against the New Jersey Nets, you remember they lost the first game by 50 points. Then they lost the second game. Then they went home, and they won both of those games at home. So losing big on the road doesn't carry nearly as much weight. The biggest issue I see with Milwaukee is their coach and possibly coaching staff. They've not been really good at making adjustments during the game. And that has cost them. And until they do, that's what's going to have a major, not that they're going to beat Phoenix, but you still got to make adjustments as the game is going on. If you see things, or even between games.
In-game adjustment.
They made some adjustments, not good enough, but Phoenix played well. Let's see when they go home if they make some different adjustments and if that will spur Milwaukee to play better. I just don't know because their coaching staff is still a little suspect in Milwaukee.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let's look at some stats from last night. Booker, 31 points. Bridges, 27 points. Chris Paul, 23. And Holiday, 17 points. The point leader last night, how do you say his name? Guinness?
Who?
Giannis.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
So didn't he break a record last night for most points scored in the playoffs?
In a quarter.
He passed Kobe Bryant and he passed
LeBron.
Or he tied Kobe Bryant, right?
He passed him. Kobe and LeBron was tied with 19. He had 20.
And he had 20.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't he also break another record back in April? He tied Wilt Chamberlain's
Rebounds?
a record that Wilt Chamberlain had.
Yeah.
Back in April. So we're always talking about who's the best player, but this guy here, he's coming on strong, breaking records. Does that put him up at the top as we start looking at stats?
No.
Not yet.
42 last night.
No, that still don't put him. No, he ain't won nothing.
So you have to win a championship to be considered one of the best players?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to win a championship to be considered one of the best players. So if you want to be at the top of the heap,
you got to maintain.
Being one of the best players, that's one thing. Being at the top of the heap, that is a different level.
So that 42 last night was a what? Fluke?
No, it's not a fluke. He's been averaging 30 points a game in the playoffs. That's not a fluke.
There you go. To help my point.
That's 10 made shots.
See what now?
That's 10 made shots.
That's only 10 made shots.
Mo shoots.
You know that's a lot of made shots in the quarter.
You know.
Lonnie.
And Mo probably did in a minute. I don't know what you're talking about.
You can say what you want to say. It's a whole bunch of thousands of players ain't never made 10 shots in a quarter in the playoffs.
So
watch him. Watch Mo. Here's shoot him.
He led last night.
Here's the point.
Points, rebounds, and blocks.
Yeah.
He had a great game.
He's a great player. He won back-to-back MVPs. He's won Defensive Player of the Year. He's a great player.
All he has to do
to get to that top of the heap, when you start talking about greatest of all time, somewhere in there you got to have a chip.
You got to have a what?
A chip, meaning the championship.
Oh.
So I think as far as his position goes, maybe we'll talk because the book will say for a fact that in his position, he's probably at the top of the heap. But you can't really compare him against other greatness and say that he's a legend yet. I think that plays a lot into it. As far as
he has to have more years of greatness.
He has to work on his jump shot.
Well, yeah,
that is true. Shot.
I think both of those are true. You do need some more years. And
he had 42 points.
Jump shot.
Most of them are on the paint, Kurt. All is in the paint. He dunked. He's 7 feet, Kurt.
Big man.
But the points in the paint count just the same, though.
Big man.
He still needs a jump shot. He does until he gets that jump shot.
If I score 42, I don't need a jump shot.
Yeah, you're
right. No, you don't.
Either. He's not going to score 42 every game.
He's averaging 37 points.
And it's close to him now. He's close to get more. He's injury prone. So he's banging in the paint all the time. He needs a jump shot. He needs a jump shot. Oh,
Giannis.
Giannis. Okay,
well, now I think he would be even better.
If
be more unstoppable if he had a better outside jump shot. But see, I don't like him shooting three.
He'd be the ultimate.
But by the same token, no Mo, if you score 42 still hits the scoreboard. Whether you shot a jump shot or you dunked it 21 times,
42.
That's Shaq. Shaq, all Shaq did was dunk.
Shaq-
Ask Will
Shaq-
Chamberlain.
Shaq-
Will Chamberlain ain't shot no threes.
There's
Did
nothing
Shaq,
like Shaq.
did Shaq have a jump shot?
I think Kareem shot 1 3-pointer in his whole career.
If he shot that. You know?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So we got Kareem, we got Shaq, we got a whole lot of big men who didn't have a 3-pointer, who didn't have a jump shot.
Right.
They cleared them.
Kareem had the hook. Kareem could shoot the hook from the free throw line, though.
Yeah, there you go. Off from everywhere.
Now, I believe Ralph Sampson Hakeem Olajuwon played the same position.
Baddest man in the game, player. Baddest man.
Way better than this guy.
Baddest man right there.
Talking about,
He had it
right?
all. He had the complete game.
You know why we say stuff like that? Those guys were good, but I think it's at the same time our generation of when we used to watch basketball a whole lot more back then, because we were on the court trying to imitate some of these guys.
That's right.
We were in the paint throwing them hook shots. I'm like, Kareem.
But keep in mind, Olajuwon did win 2 championships. That's what takes him up to that greatness level.
And
Moses
he
Malone won a
had a jump
championship.
shot. He had it all. He had the complete game. They go to Olajuwon now to learn how to play like the big man in the paint.
Right. But again, Olajuwon did not shoot 3-pointers.
No, he didn't have to. I'm not saying Giannis has to
He's
shoot
not
3-pointers. I'm
supposed
saying
to.
he needs a 15.
You're not supposed to.
You're supposed to shoot it from wherever you can make it from. If you
Right.
can make 3-pointers on a consistent basis, it's okay. I don't care how big you are to shoot them.
I'm
If you
just
can
saying-
make them, but if you can't make them, you shouldn't be
Stop
shooting.
shooting. Exactly. But I'm saying his 15 to 20-foot shot, he needs to work on that because it's not great.
So which is
And that
average points?
would start from the foul line.
So what,
Right. 15 foot in, baby.
are you guys saying he's averaging what 20, 30 points a game?
He gets about 30 a night in the playoffs this year, I think. Somewhere around
30
there.
a night?
29 to 30. Yeah, every night. You look at his playoff history for this season. For this season, he's averaging about 29 to 30 points a night and 12 rebounds.
How many?
Big
Is
buck.
how many is Chris Paul averaging a night?
20.
He's getting about 25.
It doesn't. See what I'm saying? So this guy's averaging more than Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul is shooting. He's a
But Chris
shooter.
Paul don't need to average that many because he got Booker.
I understand. I'm just saying when we can start comparing just players
Paul's only
and
6
players
foot.
for points. I'm just saying this guy's a big man. He's scoring a lot of points.
He
Yes,
should.
he-
He's 7 feet tall. There's no one taller than him.
It's a whole bunch of 7-footers more that
What a
don't score like
concept.
that.
What a
Just because you're
concept.
7 foot don't make you
Concept.
don't mean that you can score.
I'm saying, but he has the ability to score. I'm saying he's 7 foot with the talent to score. That's why
Right.
he's doing what he's doing.
Right.
There's a lot of big men out there that are soft and they can't do nothing. Look
Now
at
listen.
Porzingis, whatever his name is from Dallas. He's sorry.
I like it. Let me take the time out, do a station break right now. This broadcast is brought to you by Curtech Inc. Technology Company. If your small business needs any IT support on-site, IT support for desktop support, call Curtech. Go to Curtech Inc., schedule an appointment, and we'll get you taken care of. Another announcement I wanted to make was not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we're going to be doing this broadcast, Sports Talk with Attitude, live from the King's Donuts in Fairburn, Georgia. It's where the bros hang out on Saturday. We're going to be from 9 to 11. We're going to be broadcasting live at the King's Donuts. Everybody tune in, pull us up on YouTube. Stop on in to King's Donuts in Fairburn, Georgia to grab a donut, grab a coffee. Stop over to our table and say hi, get the chance to meet. The book is open. Here's your chance to meet. The book is open in person, everybody. So we're looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
And also, we're having to bring it on starting on Monday.
Saturday.
What
Yes,
date?
This is
What
going to be
date?
Saturday, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday.
The 17th?
Calendar, put up on the calendar. It's going to be on July 17th. We will be at King's Donuts in Fairburn, Georgia from 9 to 11 doing the Sports Talk with Attitude live broadcast. Also, I want to announce that starting Monday, during our hour of broadcasting, we're bringing on somebody. He's going to be doing broadcast station announcements for businesses. He's going to be doing our announcements.
Voiceover.
Every 15 breaks, he's going to be doing the voiceovers. Got somebody coming in. And also, we will be on each broadcast. He's going to start announcing. I had a conversation with BLK Black Men Coffee Company. And we're going to be using them as a sponsor and using them for we're going to be doing some free advertising for them, basically. We're going to be able to announce them on our station breaks. So we got Blackman Coffee coming on, we got an announcer coming on, and we're going to be live at King's Donuts. Moving forward, fellas, thank you very much for all the support. I would like to ask you guys who on this broadcast to actually let your family and friends know that we're doing this. Get them to tune in, to like and subscribe. It's going to make the world a whole lot better because they want to hear what we got to say. I got cousins on here talking about, Curtis, you don't know what you're talking about in sports. I know more about basketball than you. And they listen. And I got people actually, they'll comment on the side, and I really love it that there are people watching and there are people commenting. And so I usually post it while we're doing a broadcast on a lot of people's IM page to get them to tune in. And I'm going to ask you guys to kind of do the same and help this thing move along. So thank you very much for that. And back to the show, everybody. I know we have the Straight Out of DC. We would like to thank you for hopping on again today. I know you got a boogie. You at work. The other three of us, we look like we're, I am in the lab today, moving stuff around. And I talked to the banner guy. What's the name of the company? Sign Visions is working on our banner. And so I had negotiations with him last night, and we're going to have that banner put together for the sports talk with the logo stuff around it. So looking forward to all that. So I know we're coming up on an hour. I want to really make sure we get started at 11 and drop off at 12. I hear comments as people talk about our show and they reach out to me and say, hey, keep it to the hour if we say we're doing an hour, and keep it to the sports if we say we're doing the sports, and keep it moving because it is interesting and they want to stay engaged. So I'd like to thank you guys for all your support on this. The book is open.
Constantly. And brought to you by Taz Agency. If you need life insurance, reach out to the book. It's open.
And Molicious Barbecue.
You tried the rest, now come try the best.
Molicious Barbecue, straight out of LA, Los Angeles. When you're in Los Angeles, California, you got to stop in and check out Molicious Barbecue.
Say you saw it on the show, take care of you.
There you go. You say you saw it on Sports Talk with Attitude. Great cook, great food. Don't want to miss out on that.
Oh, it's love and humor, so it's all good.
We didn't get a chance to go over a lot of stats. I know we're about to shut it down here in about a couple minutes, but Devin Booker put on a heck of a show last night.
Yeah,
Devin is the truth. Well, what does Mark Jackson said that Kobe told him to be what did he say?
Yeah.
He had on a shoe.
Legendary. Was it be legendary?
Be legendary. He has it on.
Oh, bruh. He is legendary. He's playing like it.
Kobe kind of took him under his wing, and he's got that attitude now.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I guess it's kind of similar to the conversation that Kobe had with Jordan in the game.
Yeah, the Jordan told him the same kind of stuff, right? So it's a very interesting. I think the game is in great shape. I think it's in good hands. These young cats that's coming up that are playing nowadays, they're really playing well. And I think the game is in good hands.
I'm very happy for Chris Paul. Very happy for Chris Paul.
No question.
He's going to get that ring.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. He deserves it. He was balling last night too.
Right. But again, just keep in mind, if Giannis gets the ring, that takes him to another level too.
Yeah.
It would. Because there are great players that haven't gotten a ring that are still great players. You take Charles Barkley, for instance. He's a great player. Great player. But he would never be in that top 5.
Because he don't have that jewelry.
Maybe even top 10.
You got to have that piece of, you got to have that rock.
That jewelry it goes a long way. It makes a big difference.
And what's so amazing about that is when you say something like that, you can't do it yourself. You can seem to be a leader to help your team get there.
Yeah.
But as always, you can't do it yourself. So if I would be like how, what's his name? LeBron. I'm going to try to find a team that's going to get me there. If people saying you're great, but you're not considered one of the greatest until you get a ring, and I got the stats to say I'm great. So now I'm going to hop around the league and try to put the team together that's going to help me get a ring just so I can be considered.
Well,
LeBron's a great player. He makes everybody around him better. He always thinking about the team first. When he know he can get his when he wants to, but he'll put everybody else into the game.
But without any championships, he's not considered one of the greatest. Because always comparing how many championships.
Everything they said he was since before he even came into the league.
Right, but he has to have. You just said he has to have the jury.
I'm saying, keep in mind what I'm saying is that when I think about a player like a Charles Barkley, Charles is one of the best players that ever played the game. There ain't no question about that. But when you start putting together a list of your top 10 players of all time, I mean, of all the thousands of players that come through, his name is not going to come up in that top 10. And the main reason probably is because of the ring. Or it may be a situation whereby a guy like a Charles Barkley, you know, his struggles were he was with good teams and he had a great chance with Phoenix, but there was one other person on the other side, in this case, Michael Jordan, that they played during that same era, and his team just wasn't good enough to win that. That doesn't mean he's not a great player, though. Charles is a great player. If I had to name my top 5 power forwards of all time, not just position, just that one position, power forward, top 5 of all time, I think Charles could make that team. You know, but if I said the top 10 players, regardless of the position of all time, he wouldn't be in the top 10, but he would be in my top 5 power forwards of all time.
I understand. Okay.
Top 5 power forwards.
That makes
Karl
sense.
Karl Malone have to be in that top 5. Tim Duncan, and I'm gonna tell you the guy out of Boston, who I'm never a Boston fan, but you can't take Kevin McHale. He gotta be in the top 5 power forwards of all time.
I think we had this talk about that. Yeah, we did.
I don't know if we did power forwards though. Did we do power forwards?
I believe we did.
Right. Well, but again,
yeah, you and I were talking about Kevin McHale. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin McHale was a bad man.
Yeah, Kevin could play the game.
Yeah, no question. Kevin McHale was a bad man. Now, is he a top 10 player of all time? Probably not. Mm-hmm. Even though he got rings, he was a great player. But when you start looking at, you know, that whole realm, anybody that put Kevin McHale, just for instance, if anybody that says, if I had to pick 5 players, and here's my number 1 top 5 players, and they put Kevin McHale at the power forward, it'd be hard to argue with that, because he gonna rebound, he gonna score, he gonna get your other man in foul trouble because he was so herky-jerky, but he could always, and he's big. You know, he's 6'11" himself. So right. Kevin McHale, I mean, I look fondly on his career, even though I'm not a Boston fan. You can't deny the individual. But right. The same thing with Larry Bird. If I was talking about small forwards of all time, Larry Bird would be in there. If you said I have to pick 5 players and I only can pick 1 small forward, I'm gonna pick LeBron James.
Yeah,
but you can't deny Larry Bird though.
No, you would know.
He's just too good. He's just way too good to deny Larry Bird of being a top 10 player of all time. He's in there somewhere.
Hey, fellas, I apologize for not being Monday and Wednesday. I was at work and it got
That's okay. We're all good on that, baby.
Yeah, brother. You know, work comes first.
What's that?
You got to eat, right?
Yeah. As we were going down, I think we had another good broadcast today.
Yeah, we did.
Thanks for hopping on. Thank you, Malicious Barbecue, and
thank you, Kurt, the Armchair QB.
Armchair QB, Kurt Tech.
The book is open, Mr. Booker.
The book is open, yes, indeed.
So we look forward to everybody hopping on Monday. Next week's going to be the dynamics are going to change so much.
Yes.
And following that Saturday of next week on location, and we're going to test things out on Wednesday. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We're going to get this thing put up on the podcast stations on all podcast platforms, and we're going to see y'all next week. Thank you very much.
Okay, brothers.
All right, have a good weekend, fellas.